Okay, so the title of this is Why Does TV News Suck? And it does suck. Originally I was going to call it something softer, but I thought, let's get to the point right away. Yesterday I did one of these live webcasts on Facebook, and it went quite well. I was actually astonished at the number of people who did it. Today I'm trying it on YouTube, but if we're going to talk about democratizing the medium and taking control of it, this is the only way to do it, is to actually go out and do it. The television is a terrible medium. It's an incredibly powerful medium, but it's a terrible medium the way it's used now, because essentially it's controlled by about 4 or 5 major corporations, and everything you see on television, and when I say television, I'm talking about video, I'm talking about online, really the world of media is controlled by a tiny handful of companies. And what you see of the world, what you're allowed to see, the agenda that they set for you, is not the real world. It's a construct that they've created to serve their own ends. This may sound crazy and paranoid, but go with it, because actually once you understand it, it's both true and terrifying. My friend Mark Bittman, who was the food critic for the New York Times, explained to me once about a year ago that the food companies, the big food companies, are not really in the food business. I mean, they're not in the nutrition business. They're in the business of selling you junk to eat. And the only reason they're in business is to make a profit. They're not in business to make you healthy. They're not in business to make sure you're well fed. They're in business to sell their stuff. So they have buildings full of scientists who spend all their time essentially researching what's going to make you want to buy the junk that they sell you, with crunchiness and sweetness and stickiness and saltiness. And they research it down incredibly well, so that when you open that bag of Doritos and eat that first Dorito, you go, geez, I got to have more of these because it's so good. There's something about it that's just so good. The fact it has absolutely zero nutritional value, it doesn't matter to them. They're not interested in that. What they're interested in is selling you crap to eat. And that's why half the population is obese, because we eat crap and we're addicted. They understand what we want. It's an addiction, and they feed the addiction. They just call themselves food companies. Media companies are exactly the same way. News companies, CNN or NBC or any of them, they're not really interested in informing you. Their job is not to educate you. Their job is to sell commercial time. Websites and Facebook and all this crap, their job is eyeballs, hits, views. That's what they sell. And the more they can addict you to the junk that they put on, the more that they can research it. And just like the food companies, they also have buildings full of researchers who do audience research, who know it's not crunchiness and crispiness and saltiness, it's the amount of laughs or what kind of stuff, or what's trending, or they're giving you stuff that you crave, and they create an appetite in you for news and information. The same way Doritos company creates an appetite for you, a craving for the kind of crap that they have. And most of the stuff you see on the air in media companies is crap. I mean, let's face it, the Kardashians is not of any nutritional value to you. 90% of the stuff, I would go far as say is 100% of the stuff you see on the news has no nutritional value to you. It's because it grabs your eyeballs and makes you watch, and that's what they sell to the advertisers. And that's how they make money. It's very messed up. It's very messed up, because if you eat junk food, you're going to get fat. I mean, that's what happens, and you're going to like be a mess physically. But that's your problem. But as a culture, if we eat junk content, which is what we eat, which is what they feed us, then we're going to get fat in the head, and that's dangerous. That's how we end up electing morons like Donald Trump, because we are fat in the head from eating junk news. It's not the fault of the media companies per se. They didn't sign up to educate America. NBC is not Harvard. NBC is a company that has to make a profit. And they look at Donald Trump or the Kardashians or any other kind of crap that we show on television, and they show this is what people want to see, so they feed the beast. How do we stop this? Well, in the food business, you understand the way to stop that is go to the supermarket, get yourself some goddamn vegetables, eat some fresh fish, and you'll be fine. You don't have to eat Doritos. In the news business, we don't really have that choice, but we have an option. We have an alternative. And the alternative is that we can take our iPhones. Every one of us has a smartphone, and that smartphone has the same power to create content that NBC Studios have. You just don't realize it. So we can take those smartphones and we can create truth. We can create content. We can fill the airwaves or the internet or the broadcast world with actually content that has some nutritional value. And that's what I'm talking about here. We have to seize control of this very sick, demented, warping medium, because right now it has the control of us because we are addicted to junk. And we have to break the addiction to junk, and we have to take control of the media from people like Time Warner and NBC and Comcast and Disney, and we have to make our own content and tell our own truths. And that's the reason that we set up the VJ.com, is to give you the skills to take control. Carpe medium. Seize the medium. Arise. You have nothing to lose but the fat in your head. Trust me. See you next time.